Hello, Nazreddin. Hello. 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 Bharadwaj. Right. So the conditions of 4 points in a plane, if they represents parallelogram, represents rhombus, represents square, and represents rectangle. So here there is an example on this concept. The complex numbers z, z bar, minus z bar form what type of quadrilateral, whether they form parallelogram or rhombus or square or rectangle. So here it is the solution. Z means, let us consider z is equal to x plus iy, then z bar becomes x minus iy, minus z bar x minus iy, minus x minus iy, and minus z bar is minus x plus iy. So automatically by observation itself, we can identify z and z bar and zn minus z bar, they are equidistant. All these 4 points are equidistant to each other. Therefore, automatically it becomes a square. So the distance between AB is equal to BC and AC is equal to BD. The lengths of the sides are equal and the lengths of the diagonals are also equal. Therefore, it represents a square. And this is the condition of collinearity. If 3 points are collinear in a complex plane, then there are different conditions. So first condition is determinant condition. Determinant of Z1, Z2, Z3, and Z1 bar, Z2 bar, Z3 bar in the second column, 1, 1, 1 in the third column. If this determinant is equal to 0, then the 3 points are said to be collinear. Or Z3 minus Z1 by Z2 minus Z1 is purely real. This is another condition. Or argument of Z2 minus Z1 is equal to argument of Z3 minus Z1. Or fourth condition, the 3 complex numbers Z1, Z2, Z3 are in AP, then they are collinear. So these are the 4 conditions can be applied in verifying the collinearity of the given 3 points problems, right? Concyclic points. If Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4 are 4 concyclic points. Concyclic points means if the points which lies on a circle are called concyclic. If the 4 points lies on the same circle, then the condition is Z1 minus Z3 into Z2 minus Z4 by Z1 minus Z4 into Z2 minus Z3 is purely real. If this expression is purely real, then the 4 points are said to be concyclic. We'll video off cheskura Rahul. Right. And the important results in a triangle. If 3 complex numbers Z1, Z2, Z3 form a triangle, then the centroid, same as in the vector algebra formula, Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3 by 3, and in center formula, and this is circumcenter formula, and this is orthocenter formula. Just go on this formulas, go through these formulas and remember them, and don't think for this one proofs and derivations. Just remember these formulas to apply the problems, right? And next, So these are important properties in equilateral triangle. The questions on these conditions more often asked. If triangle ABC is equilateral, then Z1 square plus Z2 square plus Z3 square is equal to Z1 Z2 plus Z2 Z3 plus Z3 Z1. These are the conditions in equilateral triangle. This is the first condition, or this is the second condition. Z1 minus Z2 whole square plus Z2 minus Z3 whole square plus Z3 minus Z1 whole square is equal to 0, or 1 by Z1 minus Z2 plus 1 by Z2 minus Z3 plus 1 by Z3 minus Z1 is equal to 0. If Z0 is the circumcenter of triangle ABC, which is equilateral, then the relation between the vertices of the triangle representing equilateral triangle and its circumcenter is this one. Z1 square plus Z2 square plus Z3 square is equal to 3Z0 square. So on these concepts we have some notes. If in this equilateral triangle, if one of the vertex becomes origin, one of the vertex becomes 0, then either Z1 or Z2 or Z3, if you make anyone if equate to 0, so here it is the condition derived by equating Z3 is equal to 0. Suppose if we equate Z3 is equal to 0 in this, what do you get? Z1 square plus Z2 square is equal to Z1 Z2. This becomes 0 and this becomes 0. Therefore, Z1 square plus Z2 square is equal to Z1 Z2, and shifting that Z1 Z2 on the left hand side, we get this condition, right? So in that way, if Z1 Z2 with origin form an isosceles triangle, then this is the condition. If Z1 Z2 with origin form an equilateral triangle, this is the condition. And if Z1 Z2 with origin they form an isosceles triangle, the condition is Z1 square plus Z1 Z2 plus Z2 square is equal to 0. So here if we have minus at Z1 Z2, remember it represents equilateral triangle. If we have plus at Z1 Z2, remember it represents isosceles triangle. The two complex numbers Z1 Z2 with origin form an isosceles triangle, right? So, and next one is if Z1 Z2 Z3 are the vertices of an isosceles right angle triangle. So this is another important condition. If Z1 Z2 Z3 three complex number represents isosceles right angle triangle, then at right angle at Z2, right angle at the vertex Z2, then the condition to be satisfied is Z1 square plus Z3 square is equal to 2Z2 into Z1 plus Z3 minus Z2. Similarly, if the right angle changes at other vertices, so we have to change this equation in the cyclic order. If the right angle is at Z1, here Z2 will be replaced by Z1. And if the right angle is at Z3, this Z2 will be replaced by Z3. So if we change this Z1, Z2, Z3 in the cyclic order, we get other two conditions corresponding to the right angle at either at the vertex Z1 or at the vertex Z3, right? And this is example. So you can easily understand this example, just go through these examples. So time manaki sarpodu. And another important formula and important concept is area of triangle. So దీని పైన డైరెక్ట్ మనకు ఆబ్జెక్టివ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉంటాయి. If the three complex numbers Z, Iz plus Z plus Iz represents a triangle, forms a triangle, then the area of the triangle so formed is equal to 1 by 2 mod Z whole square. So you can verify these three formulas by using the area of triangle formula in coordinate geometry. What is the formula we have in coordinate geometry for area of triangle? Half into modulus of x1 into y2 minus y3 plus x2 into y3 minus y1, that formula. If we apply that formula here, this can be verified and proved. So by considering Z as a ordered pair Z comma 0 and Iz as 0 comma Z and Z plus Iz as Z comma Z. So by applying that formula, we can easily find this formula. So the area of triangle with these three complex numbers Z, Iz, comma Z plus Iz is half into mod Z square. And area of triangle whose vertices are Z, Iz, Z minus Iz will be 3 by 2 mod Z square. And area of triangle whose vertices are Z, omega Z plus Z plus omega Z, where omega is the complex cube roots of unity. So the area of the triangle with these three complex numbers as the vertices is root 3 by 4 into mod Z square. This is like, if you can you remember this formula? This formula represents the area of equilateral triangle whose side is A. So here A is equal to what? Mod Z. That means these three complex numbers always forms an equilateral triangle. Remember this point also. The three complex numbers z, omega z, z plus omega z always forms an equilateral triangle with the length of the side is equal to mod z. Therefore, its area of the triangle is root 3 by 4 into mod z whole square. So these are some examples on these formulas, area of the triangle, right? Go through them, you can easily understand. And these examples, right? Now another concept, locus of a complex number. So this is again the locus conditions in coordinate geometry can be applied according to the given locus condition by considering z is equal to x plus iy. According to the given locus condition, if we simplify, we get the locus equation of the given complex number. So here there are some locus conditions given depending on the different conditions, non-parametric form. The equation of a straight line joining 2 points z1 and z2, this is, and in the parametric form, this is like same as in the vector algebra, vector equation of a straight line passing through the two vectors, 2 points whose position vectors are a bar and b bar is like r bar is equal to t into a bar plus 1 minus t into b bar. Same as that. This is the parametric form. So where t is the parameter. So the general equation of the straight line and the parametric form of the straight line and general equation of the straight line, when we simplify, it will be in the form of like this: a bar into z plus a z bar plus b. So here a and z both are complex numbers and b is any real number. So that is mentioned here. If a straight line is a bar z plus a z bar plus b is equal to 0. A and z are two complex numbers and b is a real number. Here it is. So the slope of this straight line, the slope of complex slope of the straight line, if z1 and z2, the formula to find the slope of a straight line joining the two complex numbers z1 and z2. So in coordinate geometry, we denote the slope with the denotation m, and here in the complex plane, it is denoted by mu. Okay, that is a matter of notation. So the slope of the straight line joining the two complex numbers z1 and z2 is given as z1 minus z2 by z1 bar minus z2 bar. Same as the formula y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1 or y1 minus y2 by x1 minus x2. So here also, remember in that form, the slope of the two straight line joining the two complex numbers z1 and z2 is z1 minus z2 by z1 bar minus z2 bar. So when the general equation of straight line in a complex plane is given, then its slope formula. So when ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 is a straight line in the 2D coordinate geometry, what is the formula for slope? Minus b by a. So minus b by a, minus coefficient of y by coefficient of x. So here also a bar z plus a z bar plus b is equal to 0. So coefficient of z bar minus coefficient of z bar by coefficient of z, that is the slope of the straight line, minus a bar by minus a by a bar. So this formula is same as the formula to find the slope of a straight line in the coordinate geometry also. So remember the formula by linking with the formula of the slope of a straight line in the regular geometry, right? And here another condition is given, parallel and perpendicular condition. If two straight lines are parallel, the slopes are equal, again the same condition. If the two straight lines are perpendicular, we have in the regular geometry, product of the slopes is equal to -1. So therefore, according to that, here we get mu1 is equal to minus mu2. That is mu1 plus mu2 is equal to 0. And angle between two lines, if A, B, C, D represents the 4 points with a complex number z1, z2, z3, z4, then angle between the two straight lines AB and CD. AB is the line joining the two complex numbers z1 and z2. CD is the line joining the two complex numbers z3 and z4. Then angle between the two straight lines is given by argument of z1 minus z2 by z3 minus z4. Suppose if there is a common point here between the two straight lines, the common point is not mentioned here. Common point somewhere at the vertex of the angle, but instead of taking that vertex of the angle, only the other 2 points on the two straight lines are given here. So this is the case when 2 points on the 2 straight lines are given, then the angle between those 2 straight lines is argument of Z1 minus Z2 by Z3 minus Z4. Suppose if Z1 is the common point, Z1, Z2, AB, AC, AB, AC, angle between the 2 lines AB, AC, where A is the vertex of the angle. That means Z1 is the common point on the 2 straight lines. So that means angle will be formed at the vertex Z1. So then the angle between AB and AC will be what? Argument of Z1 minus Z2 by Z1 minus Z3. That's it. So another point, reflection of a line and the length of the perpendicular from a point to a line. This is the formula. Go through these formulas. So these are all connected to the geometry. You can derive by using the concepts of geometry. And circle, the equation of a circle having center at Z0, radius R. So the locus of the circle, this is the, from the locus condition of a circle, Cp is equal to R. So from that concept, the equation of the circle is derived in the general form of the circle is Z bar minus Z0 Z bar minus Z0 bar into Z plus Z0 bar minus R square is equal to 0, where Z is any point on the circle and Z0 is the center of the circle and R is the radius. And the equation of the circle described on the line segment joining Z1 and Z2 as the diameter. That means the equation of the circle with the 2 endpoints of the diameter are given. So this is the formula again you have in circles. When the 2 endpoints of the diameter of a circle are given, then the equation of the circle by the concept, we can derive this formula, right? And then the general equation of a circle, as we have in the 2D geometry, the equation of the circle x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0. In that way, the equation, general equation of the circle in the complex plane, zz bar plus az bar plus a bar z plus b is equal to 0, where a and z are 2 complex numbers and b is any real number. The center of the circle is minus a and its radius is under root of a bar minus b. So when we substitute the complex numbers, this z is equal to some x plus iy and a is equal to some a1 plus I, a2. By using these complex numbers, by substituting them and simplifying, we get the equation like in the coordinate geometry. But remember the general equation of a circle in the complex plane and its radius and its center. When the general equation of a circle in the complex plane is given, then the center of the circle is minus a, where a is also a complex number, and the radius of the circle is under root of a bar minus b. And these are another conditions. The equation, if mod z minus z1 by z minus z2 is equal to k, if when k is not equal to 1, it represents a circle. That is the locus of z. When the locus condition is like mod z minus z1 by z minus z2 is equal to k, when k not equal to 1, the locus of z represents a circle, and when k is equal to 1, it represents a perpendicular bisector of the line segment joining z1 and z2, right? And argument of z minus z1 by z minus z2 is equal to plus or minus pi by 2, or z minus z1 by z minus z2 is purely imaginary. Again, this is also a condition of the circle. This is in terms of modulus, and these 2 conditions, 3 conditions in terms of argument of the complex numbers. If argument of z minus z1 by z minus z2, that means angle between the lines joining z minus z1, z and z1 and z and z2 is 90 degrees, automatically is equal to plus or minus pi by 2, or z minus z1 by z minus z2 is purely imaginary, then it represents circle with z1, z2 as the ends of the diameter. Z1 and Z2 are the 2 endpoints of the diameter. That means the angle in a semicircle, it is on the concept of angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. If Z1, Z2, angle between Z1, ZZ1 and ZZ2 is 90 degrees, that means the line joining Z1 and Z2 is making 90 degrees at some point on circumference of the circle Z. That means this Z1, Z2 and Z, they make half circle, semicircle. Therefore, Z1 and Z2 automatically become endpoints of the diameter. So therefore, according to this condition, if argument of z minus z1 by z minus z2 is equal to plus or minus pi by 2, then it represents a circle whose the endpoints of the diameter are z1 and z2. Similarly, if argument of z minus z1 by z minus z2 is 0 or pi, or z minus z1 by z minus z2 is purely real, then it represents a straight line joining the 2 points z1 and z2. This is important. So these conditions are important here, from this 4th condition to this 9th condition and 10th ellipse conditions. So just go through these and remember these conditions. So objective questions, mostly objective questions on the locus will be asked on these conditions. If you remember these conditions, directly you can answer the objective questions. So these conditions will be used as short method formulas to solve the problems, complex numbers related to the locus of complex number directly. So these are the conditions in ellipse and these are the conditions in hyperbola. Time is running out. Okay, and these are some examples. Go through them. Right, again, these are all examples. You can understand easily. Right, the next concept is de Moivre's theorem. Now we have completed the concept, different concepts on complex numbers, and the next concept left over is de Moivre's theorem. So we will take another session to discuss the concepts of de Moivre's theorem, cube roots of unity, and nth roots of a complex number and nth roots of unity and their properties, right? So in detail, in the next session, if possible, today in the evening 8 to 9, I will take another class, and we will, in that class, we will complete this de Moivre's theorem also, because as per schedule, we have to complete the complex numbers by today. So only 2 days are allotted for the complex numbers. Of course, we have ample of time as the examination schedule is announced in the month of July. So even if you do not complete any problems or any concept is left over, we can finish it afterward after completing this program. That means in this schedule again we can repeat the remaining chapters, the leftover chapters. Okay. So మళ్ళీ ఏవైతే మీరు మిస్ చేసినారో, ఏ చాప్టర్స్ అయితే మీరు సరిగ్గా చదవలేదో ఆ చాప్టర్స్ మళ్ళీ మనం రిపీట్ చేయడానికి అవకాశం ఉంది, టైం కూడా ఉంది, మీరు ఏం వరీ కాకండి. సో ఈవినింగ్ 8 to 9 క్లాస్లో మీకు de Moivre's theorem ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ డిస్కస్ చేద్దాం. మళ్ళీ 8 to 9 మళ్ళీ మీకు లింక్ పంపుతాను. ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ మీకు 12 క్లాస్ అయిన తర్వాత సో మళ్ళీ 8 to 9 క్లాస్లో జాయిన్ కండి. సో రాజరెడ్డి సార్ వెయిట్ చేస్తున్నాడు ఏదో మీకు చెప్పడానికి నెక్స్ట్ 10 to 11 క్లాస్ గురించి. రాజరెడ్డి సార్.
Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, all of you.